the Kingdom of Jerusalem mustered a formidable army of 9,200 crusaders, ready to defend their sacred claim to the Holy Land. Among their ranks were the elite Templar and Hospitaller knights, whose reputations for valor and discipline were unmatched. Supporting them were units of bows and crossbows, forming a skilled skirmishing contingent, capable of deadly precision. Pilgrim axemen and spearmen, ordinary men driven by faith, stood alongside the professional soldiers, their determination unwavering as they prepared for the challenge ahead. The Crusader host gathered on the desert plains, their banners fluttering in the arid wind, their purpose clear: protect the Holy Land from the encroaching forces of the Saracens. On the opposing side, the Saracens of the Fatimid Caliphate, 1,160 strong, prepared for battle among the shifting sand dunes. Their army was versatile and mobile, a perfect match for the desert terrain. A blend of light and heavy troops, their ranks included swift cavalry, precise missile units, and fierce melee warriors. Their goal was simple but resolute: drive the Crusaders from their land and reclaim dominion over their homeland. As the Crusaders advanced, the sound of their march rose with the dust, heralding their arrival. The two armies faced each other across the dunes, the tension thick in the air. The first clash came from the Crusaders' crossbowmen, who opened fire in a calculated skirmish against the Saracen archers. Volley after volley of arrows and bolts darkened the sky. The Crusaders' crossbows proved deadly accurate, and the enemy suffered heavy losses in the initial exchange. Emboldened by their success, the Crusaders advanced a second rank of archers, while the main army moved closer to provide support. The skirmishing phase swiftly tipped in Jerusalem's favor, and the morale among their forces soared. Even Job flew, his blue eyes burning. However, the Saracens were far from passive. A unit of light Arabian cavalry broke away from their lines, galloping swiftly toward the Jerusalem ranged infantry. The sudden assault caught the Crusaders off guard, throwing their skirmishers into disarray. Yet the Crusaders were not unprepared. A detachment of Templar knights surged forward to counter the charge, soon joined by Pilgrim heavy spearmen. The combined effort repelled the cavalry, though not without cost. As the Saracen horsemen retreated, They regrouped and launched a second charge against the Crusaders' vulnerable archers. The defense horn sounded urgently, summoning the Hospitaller knights to intervene. Despite the reinforcements, the Crusader bowmen suffered casualties before the Saracen cavalry was finally driven off. Hours into the battle, the elite Templar and Hospitaller knights prepared a decisive assault on the Saracens' left flank. With unparalleled ferocity, the knights slammed into the enemy lines, wreaking havoc among their ranks. Sensing the danger, the Fatimid general ordered his cavalry to reinforce the threatened flank. The knights, now surrounded, fought valiantly, but were pushed to their limits as more enemy cavalry arrived. Isolated from the main army, they had no choice but to retreat. Their withdrawal, though costly, had inflicted substantial damage on the Saracens. Spotting an opportunity, the Crusader commanders launched an attack on the weakened Saracen right flank. The main army advanced, determined to capitalize on the disruption. The clash of heavy infantry signaled the full-scale engagement of the two armies. The Crusaders' heavy spearmen held firm against waves of Saracen cavalry, protecting the left flank with dogged determination. Meanwhile, the center lines were locked in fierce combat, swords clashing and shields splintering as both sides sought to gain the upper hand. On the left, Arabian cavalry repeatedly attempted to break through the spearmen's ranks, but were met with unyielding resistance. Saracen archers sought to weaken the defenders with precise volleys, but the arrival of additional pilgrim spearmen bolstered the Crusader lines. The Crusaders' archers, now reinforced, returned fire, inflicting heavy losses on the enemy. On the right, the Fatimid general led a bold push against the Crusaders' crossbowmen, aiming to rout them and flank the army. However, the Templar knights countered with a devastating charge, scattering the enemy cavalry and crushing their elite ranged infantry. The Templars then regrouped and encircled the Fatimid general's bodyguard, turning the tide of the engagement. As the battle raged on, the Saracens launched a final, desperate push against the Crusaders' left flank. Yet the Jerusalem spearmen held firm, their resolve unshaken. With their flanks secured, the Crusader army seized the opportunity to surround the remaining Saracen forces. Realizing the dire situation, panic spread to the Saracen ranks. Soldiers began to flee, and a full-scale rout ensued. The Crusaders, relentless in their pursuit, inflicted catastrophic casualties on the retreating enemy. As the dust settled, the battlefield bore witness to the Crusaders' hard-fought victory. The Saracen army was shattered, and the Crusaders stood triumphant. Their path back to Jerusalem was now clear, their resolve to protect the Holy Land stronger than ever.